pile of snow on the bottom there. Like it might have melted down and refroze.
You know, very few places in the world that will give us what we're seeing right now, both sides of the ship. We have the harmony of opposites. We have rock coming right out of fluid ocean. Yin and yang together. And you might wonder, why is the watercolor in this fjord so different than the color that we've been cruising through on the outside? Well, from Seattle when we left, blue color. But in here, you look around and it's sort of jade green, kind of looks like pea soup. There's a lot of sediment in this water. These waterfalls slicing down through the earth 24/7, they deposit a lot of eroded land or sediment into the fjord. Also, over thousands of years, as the glacier retreated back to its present position, carved through this land, it pulverized a lot of rock, and that rock flour fell onto the ice of the glacier. Now, when the icebergs fall off the glacier into the ocean, they deposit that ground up rock or rock flour into the sea here. So between the waterfalls slicing through the earth and the icebergs falling in covered with rock flour, we've got a lot of sediment here in the ocean, and the sediment floats on the top. And determine how close we can get you to the glacier. Again, safety is number one. That's the number one factor. We don't want to get stuck and have to spend the winter up here in the ice field. So we're going to check the ice, we'll see the glacier, and then the captain will determine how close we can actually get to the glacier. But just to give you guys a heads up, about 20 minutes from now, Sawyer Glacier will come into view around that rocky point ahead of us. Around most of the summer because it's in the shadow there. A beautiful little pocket cove with that waterfall underneath that avalanche chute. So that's off our port side about midships right now.
We don't have to.
Out there is 11 degrees Celsius, 55 degrees Fahrenheit. And I know a lot of our passengers this week are from the warm states of Florida, and Texas, and Arizona. And we're taking you down to about half the temperature that you're used to right now back home. So 55 degrees Fahrenheit, 11 degrees Celsius. Ladies and gentlemen, if you take a deep breath out there, you are probably breathing some of the purest air on planet Earth. As we've seen all morning, no permanent signs of man, no pollution whatsoever in this wild, remote fjord.
It says that you're breathing the cleanest air because there's no pollution up there.
Glacier, if you're right now, if you look behind that little island and all that granulated mass of ice coming down that mountainside, just gleaming blue there in this sunshine, that is South Sawyer Glacier. And North Sawyer will be coming into view for those of you just a moment or two when we get around this rocky point. Those of you on the quarter left side, you want to look down that recessed channel and you will see the twin. That will be North Sawyer off our quarter left side. But the big ice mass we now have in view, South Sawyer Glacier behind that little island, just gleaming blue there in the sunshine. Fantastic day. Actually originates in Canada. It is 22 miles long. So we are in the land of giants, and we are looking at the sculptors of this incredible fjord. 15,000 years ago, Sawyer Glacier was immense. 1 mile thick, blanketed these mountains right up to the summit, went 1,000 feet beneath us when there was not ocean water in here then. As it pulled back 25 miles, it carved out this incredible canyon, which was then flooded with seawater, creating this fjord. So we are looking at the artists, you might say, or the sculptors of this incredible country. So there's our photo books off our quarter left side. Ladies and gentlemen, when you live or work in Alaska, you always want to try to pitch your boat or your airplane or you. The captain's now turning the ship in this tight channel. If you are on the starboard or right side, you will have a pretty good sight line on the glacier. So the captain is slowly turning us to port. Best views coming up will be from the starboard or right side.
Glacier.
August 14th, 1999, 3 hunters in nearby Alaskan mountains north of us discovered a well-preserved human body in a melting glacier. The native's man's flesh was still intact. He was wearing a fur coat, a broad-brimmed hat. He was holding a walking stick, a spear, and around his torso was a leather pouch filled with fish and edible leaves, all preserved by the deep freeze of glacial ice. The Ashike First Nation allowed scientific tests to be done to determine the age of the native glacier walker. It turned out he had fallen into a glacial crevasse 550 years ago. You guys might remember in 1991, up in the Italian Alps, the discovery of Otzi, the world-famous Iceman. He was determined to be 5,000 years old. Again, perfectly preserved by a glacier. And just recently, the Discovery Channel that I work for the rest of the year when I'm not up here in the summer, we discovered that Otzi the Iceman didn't fall into the glacier. He actually was shot in the back with